Okay, my dear students, flutists and wannabes. So let's get now into our second video of our flute tips here on my music conservatoire, on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram, wherever you're watching it. So we're going to follow up the last one that we stretched and going into some breathing. And it's a very fundamental part of flute playing, because when we talk about breathing, we're talking about our sound. Everything is made from the breath. The woodwind is an instrument, a wind through the wood, not on the flute anymore because it's metal nowadays, but that's flute history. I'll make a new set of videos about that one day perhaps. And we need the breath to get the sound of the flute, and we need a good breath, a good amount of breath and a good quality breath, because the air has to be constant and stable, like the bow in a violin. You know, if it's shaky and weak, we don't get the nice and resonant sound, or we don't get any sound at all. Any beginner that grabs a violin and try and play, you can see it just comes out some strange shriek. It doesn't really come out as a music note. And the flute, very similar. Most people that blow it, it doesn't come out much sound either. That's because we don't have, when we start, we don't have a good constant quality sound to be able to produce a sound. So how do we get there? How do we get this quality sound? This air with so much quality. First of all, we've got to understand that breathing for the flute is different from breathing as we do in normal life. So what do I mean? When we breathe normally, do with me. We take a breath in, and especially when we think about it, we make some tension, and then when we let the breath out, we relax. Right? Again, in. Tension out. Relax. But when we want to play the flute, we want to do the opposite. Yes, the opposite. We want the breath in to be nice and relaxed, so we can expand the lung as much as possible. Yeah, the lungs and the muscles that we just stretched. And we want the breath out to be controlled or rigid on the abdominal region, so we can have this airstream with speed and quality. Look, the difference from a breathe out, like of a normal breathing, and a breathe out for the flute. If you go on the flute and do like a normal breathing, the sound won't come out, and that's the reason. You might not be getting a sound out of the flute, because you're blowing out like if you're blowing in a normal everyday breath. You've got to breathe out with a support air. Okay, so we have some exercise for them. And what are they? Number one, we're gonna train to fill our lungs as much as we can. So you're gonna open your throat, breathe only with your mouth, and simply relax the body as much as you can. And as you breathe in, you open your arms to the sides. And always think about sending the air down to the bottom of your lungs, because there are lungs, as we know, it has like, especially when it's filled up, it has like a triangle shape. So it's like this at the moment, so when it's empty, but when we breathe in, it really fills up, doesn't it? And it has this triangle kind of shape, and the bottom of the lungs is where most of the air goes. And if we don't focus on filling that up, right, we're gonna have very little air just on the top of the lungs, which is a very small part of the lungs, and that's not gonna be enough to have this nice and supported air. Okay, so breathe in, thinking of sending the air all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. You can use your arms to help going to the side so you get more space from the muscles to expand and let your lung to get larger. And then when you are very full, you take another breath. And then again. And you keep filling up until you have your air all the way up here, and maintaining your body as relaxed as possible while you do that. And then you let it out. Okay, this part of the exercise, you can let it out relaxed, no problem. We are focusing on expanding the lung capacity. So you can do that 3 times, one more time. Pull there in, pull again, and again. So you have there all the way here, and let it out. Okay, you're gonna feel that you had a lot of air going in and your body is expanding. You get a lot of oxygen in your brain, which helps you to concentrate too for our next exercise that you're gonna do. Okay, so that's breathing number 1. I stopped the video here. Breathing exercise number 1. I'll stop our video here and I'll come back next video number 3, for the second and the third tips of exercise for breathing. See you soon.